The cloud of glory burst unceremoniously. The very basis of success of Pokhran 2 was now being questioned.
This apart, of course, the success was the miniaturization.
There have been some odd noises coming from BIRC saying that our instrumentation did not work. That's a stupid lie, absurd lie. In fact, they were given exposure to all the results even before the test, and the results after the tests were conducted. So this is a kind of a blatant lie that BIRC is trying to put out, and that needs to be strongly condemned. We had pictures of the site before the thermonuclear event, and we had subsequent field visits when approvals were obtained. We gone and seen. There's constable. Let me put it this way: if you visit the sites, even now people can go and visit it with due clearance. You can see that the shaft is not damaged as it should be. You can still go there and see the pipes, the jetties, all the other instrumentation absolutely intact. If the event had occurred to the value that was designed, there should be a huge cavity out there. It doesn't exist now.
The establishment and the scientific community are not ready to give up.
For remote simultaneous triggering of 3 nuclear devices system.
Contradicting Santhanam's claims is this man. Former Atomic Energy Commission Chief Anil Kakotkar, not willing to budge an inch. Kakodkar's stand is clear. The tests were 100% success and the facts cannot be questioned.
The Pokhran 2 tests done in 1998, again in May 1998, were to demonstrate India's nuclear weapon capability. And a total of 5 tests were conducted. Since I was involved in all of them firsthand, I can tell you with confidence that all the tests were 100% successful. The total yield of the 2 tests, 2 large yield tests, had to be limited. And assessments were done, and it was concluded that this total yield has to be maximum of around 60 kilotons. Now, one of the tests was a standard fission device, and for which an assigned value was around 15 kilotons.
After which the hydrogen bomb.
The battle of claims is now intensifying.
The weapons that you told.
Kakotkar feels the entire controversy is unnecessary. The debate triggered after claims by a former DRDO scientist that the hydrogen bomb experiment was a failure did not hold any water.
It's important to recognize that it performs at the level at which it was designed to or at which it was expected to. And then you can tune it to any other yield and get so, and that's how it was kept at 45 kilotons, because you didn't want to create a damage at Khetolai village, and it did perform at that level. So there is no truth in anybody's saying otherwise. You cannot go by just one pattern, because the geology down below, it varies, and in this case, even though the distance between the 2 shafts were it was just 1.1 kilometer, in terms of the placement, the strata in which the 2 placements were there, they were different. And so obviously the signature on the ground for the 2 cases are different.
Will be taken at the center.
But Santhanam was not just making any claims. He was part of a team that envisioned the nuclear test. There is a lot at stake, and in question was India's nuclear deterrence.
The scientists who were in Pokhran, Dr. Chidambaram was leading them, the atomic scientists, Dr. Kakotkar was there. There were other people from the Atomic Energy Department and from DRDO. When they all assured us that they have done what they set out to do, and when Dr. Kalam reiterated that in September of '98 and again last year, I believed them. So perhaps Dr. Santhanam has his misgivings. He's entitled to them. But it doesn't mean that what we said at that time and what Dr. Kalam said at that time was wrong or was a lie to the nation. It was not.
The admission is undoubtedly remarkable, setting off alarm bells. For the first time, a nuclear scientist and one closely associated with the 1998 tests had gone against the government line, but the authorities were not willing to give up.
And with Dr. Santhanam coming out, and he came out not recently, he came out in September 2009. It's 3 years ago that he said, more than 3 years ago, that he said that this thing didn't work and we would have to resume testing. If India has to have a credible thermonuclear deterrent, then we have to test again. And that follows from his assessment of the test, which was based on a report given by the nuclear establishment at the time, who were out there in Pokhran, who did the tests and looked at the data, the telemetry data, and came to the conclusion. Which conclusion was, as I said, in the report given to the government, which the government did not pay heed.
No, what we did is that after the tests were conducted, we returned to Delhi. We went back, we did a lot more homework on all the measurements from various instruments that had been deployed, put them all together, got it into a report, gave it to government, even gave a copy of that to the BARC chaps as well. At that point in time, Brajesh Mishra, who was then the principal secretary, tended to agree with what BARC said. He disagreed with what we presented as evidence. This is a kind of a political decision, let me say, not much of a scientific decision.
ये पिलर किसके लिए है?
The test was said to have yielded 45 kilotons. But that data was challenged by Western experts, who said that it was not more than 20. What transpired in the moments after the test, not many know. But years later, as we celebrate the 15th year of Pokhran 2, the questions, the doubts and the dilemmas have only compounded.
It's not a matter of investigation. All that the government has to do is ask for the report. Is there too much to do? There's no investigation involved. There's no CBI or any such thing, because nobody else is capable or competent to make the judgment as the nuclear scientists did at the time when they came to the conclusion. So it's just a matter of asking for the report, and whoever the poobahs are in this government, starting with the National Security Advisor Shiv Shankar Menon, all he needs to do is call for the report. Surely the report is up there, filed away. There's no investigation required. All they have to do is call for the report.
Pokhran 2, a proof of India's nuclear deterrence.
Worldwide measurements of the yields of Pokhran 2 are available in the published literature by a number of scientists all around the world. They clearly indicate that the thermonuclear test did not yield the 45 kiloton yield as claimed. I think that this is universal knowledge, but it takes time for real information to sink into the heads of some people in India.
Some say the alarms were set off within minutes of the test. Some say Santhanam had admitted that the test was a fizzle during a discussion on CTBT. But even as speculation increases, what about our own security? The government may choose to dismiss one man's claims. But what about the facts on the ground? Does India need to conduct more tests to improve its nuclear weapons program? Do we need to analyze our nuclear deterrence more closely? Do we need to relook at Pokhran 2 objectively? Questions that need immediate answers. Questions that need honest answers. Was Pokhran 2 a failure? And if it was, how long can we continue to live in the shadow of this false glory?